Welcome to Life Remodeled, brought to you by Marvin Windows and Doors. Today, we're in Potsdam, New York, at St. Mary's Church. This immense rose-shaped window is the final piece of a complex stained glass window restoration project. Marvin Windows and Doors constructed each of the mahogany frames to fit the window openings, as well as the existing stained glass, which are being restored for the first time in over 100 years. Much like a residential remodel, Marvin approached this project with the same appreciation of understanding exactly what their customer wants first and foremost.
They want to know more about the project. They want to know the size of the project, what does it entail, the history of the project. You know, because it's a very proud thing to be part of something like St. Mary's Church, to be part of that history and to be able to recreate these frames.
There has been this effort at not simply replacing but restoring, that there has been a concern for the integrity historically of the structure of the windows of the frames, and that all of this has been taken into consideration.
McNeil architects, who specialize in historic reproductions of this size, were brought in by Marvin to make drawings of each window, 15 in all.
So the McNeils basically had to come out with their equipment and were able to do different types of various measuring, being regular tape measure or laser surveying and drawing and mapping out the window, and then taking it back and basically be able to recreate that window, break it down into several hundred parts of each window type, and be able to feed that through our CNC router, and then we would create the window in the factory.
It's this type of attention to detail that makes all of Marvin's products stand out for their high-quality construction.
The installation of the smaller windows, meaning the type A and B windows, how they were shipped in one piece from the factory and crated, and they were picked up with a forklift and fed through the exterior of the opening and then pulled back to go against the stone.
The installation of the windows, including the large rose-shaped window, went through many of the same steps that are used in homes across the country, just with larger equipment.
It was picked up by a forklift with harnesses. It's brought around the building, lifted into place, and they just kind of inched it in, and as they were inching in, they were squaring it up, making sure that it was plumb and level, and making sure that it was sealed tight, and then of course they had to cut and put the trim, the columns, on the exterior. I wasn't worried about it in the least bit. I thought it was going to fit perfectly. In fact, I knew it was going to fit perfectly, and it did. There was absolutely no issues at all when I got to the job site.
All throughout the process, there has been a real effort at collaborating between the team from Marvin, the contractors, and the parish, in such a way that we really were completely able to continue with our regular life as a church community.
What Marvin had brought to the table was a window that looks exactly, identically, right down to an 1/8 of an inch groove, the window frame to what was existing 100 years ago.
I think that the finished product is extraordinary, and certainly I think the people here in the parish are, and I know, as a matter of fact, through conversation, that they're really very, very pleased, very delighted with the work that has been accomplished.